Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, A Handful of Daisies DIY. If you're new here, I'm Elaine. Thanks so much for stopping by. This week's project, we're going to be working on some leftover signs that I had from Christmas in my booth. Once the holidays were over, I went ahead and pulled everything out, and instead of putting them away for next year, there are a few things that I'm going to redo and reuse so I don't have to worry about stocking them or putting them to the side. I don't have a lot of room to keep everything, so this is a better solution for me. So if that's something you're interested in, stick around and let's get started. So we're going to start with this first round that just has the white in the middle. I really love this one. It was very simple. I'm going to start by just taking off the vinyl that I had cut on my silhouette machine. It was a little hard to pull off just because I had sealed it in. So I did have to work at it a little bit to get it off. Once I got all the vinyl off, since I had sealed it, it was raised a little bit. So I just took my sanding block and lightly sanded across the white part. And I had attached the bow using some wires, so I did have to take that off as well. We're going to be using this welcome. I cut this out on my new laser, which I love. I still have a lot to learn on the laser, but it has been really nice to be able to cut out my own words to put on my signs. So I'm just using tacky glue to adhere it to the sign, and that works really well. I'm going to take the bow apart and I'm going to reuse the base of the bow and just add a flower to the middle. So this again is going to be just another simple round, and I thought it turned out beautifully. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this one. So round number 2 is this Merry Christmas sign. So again, I'm going to remove where I had the bow at the top and then pull off the vinyl as well. This one was sealed in, so again, it was a little hard to pull off. You can see there where the vinyl was. So I'll use my sanding block to get that off as well. Now I'm going to repaint the middle of this sign to cover up the red. I'm going to be using Dixie Belle and Duck Egg because I think it's such a beautiful spring color. I'm going to tape it off first because I know I won't be able to paint in a straight line. And that way I can get a really clean edge. Now it is going to take 2 coats to cover up this red. So I'm going to put a thin coat on first. And then I'm going to dry it up with my hairdryer, of course. Because I'm too impatient for the paint to dry, I like to be able to move on to the next step pretty quickly. Now you can use a heat gun to do this as well. I've found that the hairdryer works better for me just because it's not as hot and it has more air. Now it did get a little messy on the sides. I will go back and clean that up once it's dried. It dries up really quick with the hair dryer. I'm going to go ahead and put my second coat on. On this coat, I'm going to use a little spritz of water just to spread the paint out. This paint I've had for a little while, so it is a little thicker than usual. And that'll help me, and that'll help with the brush strokes. I'm gonna put my brush to the side. I always put my brushes in a baggie just in case I have to come back and do touch-ups. And then of course I'm gonna use my hair dryer again. Now you can just let this dry on its own if you want, but again, I'm very impatient. I'm just going to peel back the tape and you can see what a really good crisp line you get. I'm going to be putting Welcome Spring on this one. Now I'm leaving the wording just in the natural wood. I thought that went really well with this sign. And I'm using the tacky glue to adhere the letters. I believe I picked up the tacky glue at Walmart. I think you can get it at Dollar Tree as well. It's just a smaller one. So I'm just kind of eyeballing where to put it. It's not exactly in the center, but I thought it looked good. I almost forgot to put the dot on the eye, so I did go back and do that. Now to embellish the top, I love the lavender with this duck egg color. I think it's such a good pairing. So that's what I'm going to use on the sign. Now I did have the hole pretty low on this from the Christmas sign. I wish it had been a little bit higher, but we're going to work with it. I'm going to use some floral wire just to hold the separate picks together. And then I'll come back and use a little bit of hot glue as well to make sure it doesn't move around. Now I'm going to add a bow in the middle. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I'm not a bow person. I am horrible at making bows. I keep saying that I'm going to practice, but I haven't. So I fool with this bow over and over and over again, trying to get it the way I want it. So I used floral wire when I put this bow together as well, so I could pull it through the hole. And I love this black and white gingham ribbon with the duck egg and the lavender as well. Like I said, I couldn't decide how to do this bow. I did end up completely redoing the bow afterwards. So I also had this really small ribbon that was gingham as well, and I'm going to use that as a hanger. I'm just going to put it through the holes and tie it off in the back. I'm going to use some hot glue on that as well to make sure it doesn't pull through, because this ribbon is pretty small and the knots weren't really big enough to keep it from going through the holes. Here I am again trying to fix that bow. And it was moving around a lot, so I did add some hot glue to the front. Let me know what you think of that one as well. So here's round number 3. This is another simple beliefs one. I'm just going to deconstruct it like I did the first one. And on this one, I did cut out this butterfly. I love this butterfly. So I'm not going to leave these natural wood. I'm going to go ahead and paint this because I did want to put a little bit of color on it. So I'm going to be using Waverly and moss to do the butterfly. I thought about doing so many other different colors, but I did end up with the moss color. I thought it turned out really pretty. So I'm going to paint moss on the whole butterfly except for the little rose in the middle. And I'm going to paint that pink. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the green on the butterfly. I think this turns out really well. This was probably my favorite round in these spring rounds. I'm going to do the hello in pink as well. I'm going to use the tacky glue to put this one down as well. This glue holds these little wood pieces really well. I was surprised. Let me know what you think of the moss green and the pink together. I'm going to embellish it with another bow that I made. Now the top part of this bow had white stripes on it, and I did take the pink that I used in the butterfly and the hello and colored in part of the lines on the bow just so it would tie in with the rest. Like I said, I think this is my favorite one of all 5 that we're doing today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. On to round number 4. We're going to do something totally different on this round. This Oh Holy Night. I did sell quite a few of these, but I had this one left over. So again, I'm just going to deconstruct it, taking all of the vinyl off and sanding it down. And then I'm going to paint the whole thing in white, so I have a good, clean, bright base to work with. I'm using Waverly White, and it is a little bit of an old jar, so it's thick as well. So I'm adding some water to it just to thin it down a little bit so it spreads a little bit better. So I did paint the front and the back of this one white, and it did take 2 coats. So now it's all ready. I'm going to be using this fabric that I picked up at Dollar Tree, believe it or not. It's the perfect size for these 18-inch rounds. You can see it fits from top to bottom perfectly. So I'm going to be using Mod Podge to glue this on. And I'm going to start at the top and just work my way down. I'm going to stretch it out, and then I'm going to use my brayer to make sure I get any bubbles or creases out so it's laying really flat. I just love this fabric. I was so surprised when I saw it at Dollar Tree and knew exactly what I wanted to use it for. Once I have it all down, I'm going to Mod Podge across the whole top as well. The Mod Podge will dry clear, but that will help to make sure it is applied really well. So once it's dried, instead of cutting around the edges, I'm going to use my sanding block because that just gives it a really clean cut around the edges rather than trying to cut it with scissors. I'm going to be using this farmhouse kitchen on it. I'm going to paint this white, and I have it laid out on tape. That makes it a little bit easier to paint. Plus, I've already measured it out to make sure it's straight. So that will help me to put it on after it's painted and dried. So now I'm going to take some more tape and put it on the top so I can keep it all laid out exactly how I want it, and then just take the tape off the back. I'm using the tacky glue on this as well. And these letters were a little bit thicker, so it was easier for me just to use the glue straight on it instead of using a brush to put it on. Now I have my ruler laid out so I can get it on as straight as possible. You can see how much easier it is to put these letters on since they're not attached to each other if you have them taped up. So I'm going to let the glue dry before I try to take the tape off. So now it's good and dry, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the tape off. You can see how well it was down. Let me know what you think about that round as well. So this is our last round, number 5. This was a round that I just had left over that I didn't use when I was doing my Christmas round, so I didn't have to repaint this one. We're going to be doing the same thing using this fabric. I also picked this up at Dollar Tree. Once I got it down and it was all dry, I'm going to put some more letters on it. I really wasn't sure whether I just wanted to leave it with nothing on it or add the Live Simply. I don't know if you can see, the fabric does say Live Simply, but no matter what color I painted these letters, I felt like they didn't stand out really well. So I went ahead and just painted them the charcoal color to match the charcoal in the fabric. Let me know what you think. Should I have just left it with nothing on it? Because it was beautiful that way as well. But here's how it turned out. And here's a look at how they all turned out. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite. Would you have done something different? Thanks so much for crafting with me today, and I'll see you next time for another DIY.